You just mass deleted 4 terabytes of research from a company server. Everyone thinks you are out of your mind. You have an algorithm for $120,000 in savings and 150 days before the money runs out. 83% of new quantitative funds do not survive 2 years. You do not know yet which side you are on. The fund does not exist yet. No office, no investors, no infrastructure. Just a hypothesis you have been testing in stolen hours for 19 months and a separation agreement that cost $38,000 to negotiate. Your former employer claims partial ownership of any code developed on company hardware. Your attorney says the claim is weak but not frivolous. You do not fight it. You rewrite every line from scratch. That decision cost you 11 weeks. It also means everything that follows belongs entirely to you. You are 31 years old. Your title at the firm was Senior Quantitative Researcher. The firm manages $7.8 billion in systematic strategies across 4 asset classes. Your all-in compensation last year was $680,000. You left because you found an alpha signal in alternative data, satellite imagery cross-referenced with maritime shipping transponder feeds, that predicts commodity inventory levels 6 weeks ahead of consensus estimates. You presented it to the portfolio committee twice. They declined both times. The signal sits outside the firm's mandate. They are not wrong about the mandate. You are not wrong about the signal. Both things are true and neither one resolves the other. You rent a studio apartment for $2,800 a month and call it the office. 2 monitors, 1 whiteboard, a rented server rack on AWS at $4,200 a month. The legal setup begins the same week. Delaware LLC for the management company. Cayman Islands exempted limited partnership for the fund. Total legal costs, $52,000. You signed the engagement letter from a folding table at 7:15 on a Thursday morning. The attorney bills at $475 an hour. The check goes out before you finish your coffee. That is the first thing that surprises you. Not the amount. The speed at which you stop hesitating. The infrastructure is where the real money goes. Satellite imagery subscription, $18,000 a month. Shipping AIS data feed, $7,500 a month. Cloud compute for backtesting and live signal generation for $1,200 a month. Bloomberg terminal, $2,100 a month. Total fixed infrastructure cost before a single trade executes, $31,800 a month. You are burning $381,600 a year on data alone. Your savings cover roughly 13 months at this rate. You file as an exempt reporting advisor with the SEC. You code the backtest framework yourself. It runs 14 hours on the first full pass. You fall asleep at your desk while the machine works. When you wake up, the results confirm what you already believed. The signal is real. The question has never been whether the signal is real. The question is whether anyone else will believe it before your money runs out. Your first investor meeting ends when your laptop crashes during a live demonstration of the signal pipeline. The screen freezes on a partial regression output. You close the laptop and finish the explanation on the whiteboard. He does not invest. He does not call back. The first real investor is not a colleague, not a family member, not anyone from finance. He is a tech entrepreneur you met at a machine learning conference 9 months before you resigned. He made his money building and selling a logistics optimization company. He does not ask for a pitch deck. He asks to see the Jupyter notebook. You spend 3 hours walking him through the code, the data ingestion layer, the feature engineering, the signal decay analysis. He commits $5 million. The check arrives in 8 business days. A former PhD advisor invests $200,000. He tells you he does not understand the strategy, but he understands you, and that has historically been a sufficient filter. A quantitative trader from a competing firm puts in $800,000 after reviewing your out-of-sample performance across 3 separate backtest windows. The fund launches at $8.1 million. Management fees at 2% generate $162,000 annually. Operating costs, data subscriptions, cloud compute, legal, compliance software, annual audit, run $420,000. The gap is $258,000 in the wrong direction. You are not paying yourself. You have not paid yourself since the day you resigned. The first 4 months produce an 18.7% gross return. The signal performs exactly as the backtest predicted. But execution slippage in live trading runs 40% higher than the model assumed. The difference between backtested returns and live returns is the distance between theory and reality, and that distance is measured in basis points that compound into real money. You spend 6 weeks rewriting the execution engine. Your tech entrepreneur calls once a week. He never asks about profit and loss. He asks about the Sharpe ratio and the maximum drawdown. He is the only investor who speaks your language. In month 7, a data vendor changes its API without notice. The entire signal pipeline goes dark for 72 hours. 3 days of no signal means 3 days of no new positions and $180,000 in missed opportunity cost based on what the model would have generated. You build redundancy into every data source. The backup feeds cost an additional $9,000 a month. You do not hesitate. The first year closes at 31.2% net of fees. That number appears on an allocator database you did not know existed. A fund of funds in Connecticut specializing in systematic strategies finds your Sharpe ratio on the database. It reads 2.4. They call on a Tuesday. The due diligence process takes 3 months. They want to see live code. They run your signals against out-of-sample data from their own proprietary datasets. They interview you 4 times. Each interview is longer than the last. They invest $25 million. 2 additional allocations from your existing network bring total assets to $45 million. Management fees at $900,000 a year now cover operating expenses for the first time. You hire a quantitative developer at $185,000 base and a part-time compliance officer. You draw $150,000 from the management company. It is the first income you have received since the resignation. You notice this the way you notice when the sound of a machine you have been running continuously for 14 months finally becomes background noise. You stop hearing the anxiety. That does not mean it stopped. The fund of funds requests full transparency into the algorithm, not the framework, the parameters, the exact feature weights, the data processing pipeline. You understand the request. You also understand that anyone with similar data and your exact parameters could replicate the strategy within 90 days. You negotiate. You disclose the logic framework and the signal construction methodology. You withhold the exact parameters and the proprietary data pre-processing layer. They accept the compromise. But the conversation leaks. Not maliciously. Conversations in this industry do not need to leak maliciously. They leak structurally. Within 6 months, 2 other funds begin using satellite data for the same sector. Your Sharpe ratio drops from 2.4 to 1.8. The signal is not broken. It is shared. A pension consultant introduces you to 2 institutional allocators. A sovereign wealth fund's quantitative sleeve allocates $60 million. The fund crosses $160 million. You register as a full investment advisor with the SEC. Form ADV goes public. The management fee gets negotiated down to 1.5%. Your team is 6 people. 2 quantitative developers, a data engineer, a COO, a compliance officer, and you. Then the bad quarter arrives. Quarter 2 of year 3. The algorithm gets fooled by an anomaly in the satellite data. Cloud cover patterns shift due to La Nina. The model reads the shift as an inventory signal. It is not. The fund drops 11.2% in 6 weeks. This is not a timing error. This is a model assumption failure. The signal read the world incorrectly. 3 investors redeem $22 million combined. The fund drops from $175 million to $140 million. You write the longest quarterly letter in the fund's history. 11 pages. You explain exactly what the model assumed, exactly where the assumption broke, and exactly what you changed in the architecture to prevent it from breaking the same way again. 1 investor who redeemed returns 4 months later. The sovereign wealth fund puts you on a watch list. You have 2 quarters to prove recovery, or they pull the full $60 million. You add 3 new data sources: credit card transaction data, job posting aggregation data, and social sentiment scoring. The single signal architecture becomes a multi-signal ensemble. Sharpe ratio recovers to 2.1. The sovereign wealth fund removes you from the watch list after 2 consecutive quarters of 14% net returns. A capital introduction desk at your prime broker connects you with a multifamily office in Dallas. They allocate $80 million. An insurance company's alternative investment sleeve commits $120 million after 18 months of due diligence that includes 4 on-site visits and a full cybersecurity audit of your data infrastructure. The fund reaches $520 million. Management fees at 1.5% produce $7.8 million annually. If you have made it this far, you understand what systematic conviction looks like. A subscribe helps me keep building these. No pressure. The team is 12 people. For quantitative researchers, 3 engineers, a COO, a full-time compliance officer, an investor relations director, and 2 operations staff. The system processes 2 terabytes of data every day. Latency from signal generation to trade execution is 340 milliseconds. Infrastructure costs run $2.1 million a year. Data feeds alone cost $780,000. The performance fee last year on a 22% net return across $520 million in assets is a gain of $114.4 million and 20% of that gain is $22.9 million. After team profit sharing, operational expenses, and a revenue arrangement with the original tech entrepreneur who seeded the fund, you take home $14.6 million. You went from no income in year 1 to $14.6 million in year 5. The math of ownership is not subtle. But you notice something else. 3 other funds are now running nearly identical satellite data pipelines. The alpha you discovered is being divided. The fund crosses $1 billion in assets under management on a Wednesday afternoon in November. You are debugging a production issue in the Signal pipeline when your COO sends a text message. 1 word. You finish the debug. You send a 2-word reply. You are 38 years old. 7 years since you deleted the data from the company server. Management fees at $15 million a year. Performance fee on a 19% net gain across $1 billion is a gain of $190 million, and 20% of that is $38 million. After all expenses, team allocations, and infrastructure costs, your personal economics come to $24.8 million. But here's what $1 billion does not tell you. Alpha per dollar is declining. 5 years ago, you were the only fund using satellite imagery for this sector. Today there are 14. Your returns over the last 3 years read 31%, 22%, 19%. Still exceptional, but the trajectory is clear. Capacity constraints compress returns as the fund grows. Market impact increases. Signals get front-run by faster systems. Data advantages erode as vendors sell the same feeds to more buyers. You are sitting in an office that costs $45,000 a month in Midtown Manhattan, managing $1 billion in assets. And for the first time since the day you started, you do not know where the next signal will come from. The fund reached $1 billion not because you are the best quantitative researcher in the industry. It reached $1 billion because you identified the signal 4 years before the market recognized it existed. Your real competitive advantage was never the algorithm. It was the timing of seeing something before anyone else saw it. And timing, by definition, does not repeat. Somewhere today, a quantitative researcher at another firm is staring at a dataset that no one else has noticed. She has a hypothesis. She has some savings. From where she is sitting, she can see exactly what the upside looks like. She has no picture at all of the 7 years that follow. But you know something she does not yet know. $1 billion is not a destination. It is a deadline. The deadline before the advantage disappears entirely. The $420,000 you had when you started is now smaller than the fund's monthly data feed bill. You do not look back to feel proud. You look back because the person who sent that resignation email was right about something that is currently changing. And you want to remember exactly what that felt like before the market takes it from you permanently. Watch this video if you want to see what it looks like to build systematic wealth from the inside.